Hey everybody, hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm here doing the Astrology Insight for the week of Sunday, February 22nd. On Sunday, February 22nd, we have Venus in Pisces, trine Jupiter in Cancer. On Thursday, February 26th, we have Mercury stationing retrograde in Pisces. And then on Friday, February 27th, we have Mars square Uranus, as well as Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus in Pisces. On Sunday, February 22nd, we have Venus in Pisces, trine Jupiter in Cancer. These are both exalted planets, and to add to the mix, we have the moon exalted in Taurus. So overall, today is actually a really nice day to be social, to enjoy your relationships. Really, you can do many things with this energy. So it's good to look and see where this energy is sitting in your chart, because perhaps you want to move your business forward, perhaps you want to move your relationships forward. There's all sorts of things you can do with this energy because it is a very benefic energy. 3 planets exalted, and they're all aspecting each other. It's a fantastic day. So enjoy it, because this week might be a little bit slippery along the way. So enjoy today and know that today is all about pleasure, relationships, and having fun. On Thursday, February 26th, in the early morning hours, we have Mercury stationing retrograde at 22 degrees Pisces, and he will be retrograde until March 21st, where he goes to 8 degrees Pisces. The nice thing about this Mercury retrograde is we have aspects with Jupiter, while both of them are retrograde and while both of them are going direct. So what we can guarantee is that we are going to find some solutions, that we are going to find some answers, that we are going to understand the impressions that we are picking up on and understanding how to deal with them. Now, while Mercury is retrograde in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces in general understands impressions. It understands the energetics of the situation. Sometimes people with Mercury in Pisces do have a hard time communicating because they are picking up on the energetics, they are picking up on the impressions, and they're not necessarily able to fully put those into words. So while Mercury is retrograde in Pisces, it can be a time where maybe you're not talking a lot, or your stories are extremely long-winded trying to explain what you're feeling, because that's the other thing with Mercury and Pisces types of people, is they tell really long-winded stories to explain their point, because again, they're experiencing impressions. So while Mercury is retrograde, it's a great time to slow down and really review all the impressions that you've been picking up on over the past 2 weeks, and really begin to understand, what are you sensing? What are you picking up on? How can you clear your mind out so that you can begin to bloom new ideas? Because as Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac, there is this life and death energy with Pisces. So while Mercury is retrograde in Pisces, it's important to let go of the old mindset, clear it out so that you can let the new mindset bloom, which is why it's nice that we have this trine with Jupiter exalted 2 times while we have this Mercury retrograde. Like I said, 1 time while Mercury is retrograde, we already had the first time. Now we're having the second time while Mercury is retrograde. And then the third time is when they are both going direct. So buckle up, because Mercury retrogrades can be a little tricky, because we do need to slow down. So if you're not slowing down and you're moving too fast, Mercury doesn't always like that. And so slow down, don't rush things. It's not at the time where you want to necessarily start new things. If things come back into your life, look at them, observe them. Who are they? What are they? Take it into account. But perhaps, if you don't have to sign anything in Mercury retrograde, it's always a good time to kind of pull back on that. But nonetheless, it doesn't say don't do it, because like I said, if it's coming back in your life, coming back up, sometimes it's a time to do that. But I'm not the judge. Those are things you have to kind of consider for yourself. Now, it is also important to look and see where this Mercury retrograde sits in your own chart, so you can know how it is going to impact your own personal life. On Friday, February 27th, we have a doozy of a day, as we have Mars square Uranus in the morning at 10:20 a.m. Central Time. And then in the evening, we have Mercury conjunct Venus at 11:34 p.m. Central Time. So the day begins with a lot of volatile energy. We have that Mars in Aquarius, which says my opinions, my ideas are the truth, are the future, ... like very strong-willed mental fixity. But it is square to Uranus in Taurus, which is unstoppable change. And so yes, you can yell at a boulder all you want as it is rolling down the hill, but it is going to trample you over if you do not get out of the way. And so if you want to work with this Uranian energy, it says let go of the fixity of mental beliefs and ideas and opinions, and really recognize what is changing, because that is the landscape that we have to adjust to and work with. And so if you want the boulder to stop, maybe try and like dig a hole so it can stop and it doesn't move any further, because that is something that we can consider. How are we working with the dynamic, ever-changing landscape? Because we can't stop the changes from happening, so we need to adjust where we are taking action and work in that sort of way. So know that early morning, volatile energy, potentially violent energy. We might see upheaval in the world. Those are some things that we just need to expect, and we're going to feel this energy kind of building up throughout the week as well. Now, the nice thing at the end of the day is that we do have this Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus exalted. This is a very lighthearted, this is very contemplative sort of energy, contemplative in a sense of being more creative with how you're living your life, creative with how you're thinking. So as yes, the day is volatile in the early time, in the evening we can maybe perhaps see some resolution or just some cooling down, because we have this goddess energy of this Venus exalted conjunct to Mercury. So that is something that we do get to look forward to in the evening. But yes, be at ease, be gentle, because like I said, it is a volatile energy and we want to make sure that we're not necessarily fully embodying that volatility, and instead we're really recognizing where is change happening and how can I work with that change. If you'd like to schedule a personal reading, you can contact me at 11kaibarose33.com.